upon which our congregations in Woodbury and Meriden make their home was not empty wilderness when Europeans first arrived in Connecticut. We begin each of our services acknowledging this fact as a step on the road to justice. There are 5 recognized indigenous tribal nations in Connecticut: the Mashantucket Pequot, the Mohegan, the Eastern Pequot, the Golden Hill Pawcatucket, and the Shagatoke. The Mattatuck Unitarian Universalist Society and the U Church in Meriden acknowledge that our congregations occupy the ancestral, traditional, and contemporary lands of these nations. In offering this land acknowledgement, we commit to learning more about these hosts and neighbors, and we affirm indigenous sovereignty, history, and experience.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirit into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, then our hunger and our passion need to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Welcome, everyone, and happy Earth Day to the Mattatuck Unitarian Universalist Society, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Meriden, and visitors who are with us today. Welcome, everyone. I am Lynne Grobsky, Minister Intern at the Mattatuck Unitarian Universalist Society, and I will be your worship leader for this service. Today, on this 51st Earth Day, we continue with this month's theme of becoming. We explore how we view climate change and global warming, and how we can help each other become effective agents of change in helping Earth become a healthy place for all living beings. And now, we light the symbol of our faith, the flaming chalice.
My name is Michael Lang, and following our Unitarian Universalist tradition, I light this chalice, saying these words in honor of Earth Day. Glory be to the earth and the wind. Glory be to the sun and the rain. Glory be to animals and children. Glory be to the holy flame, which calls us together as one. Amen.
I spent a long time running. I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds, nothing
It's like
more.
your whole life you've been training for this moment, and when the time comes you just disown it, meaning you just surrender, don't control it. Not interested in the clay pots and mold it, or sitting next to the path trying to unfold it, or waiting for the fruits to fall down toward you. Let it go and now you're flowing, feeling quite gorgeous, so you take steps away instead of towards it. What a rush, feeling freedom with nothing to hold. We've been taught that what you touch will always turn to gold, and now we're learning when we let it go it overflows with no credit to take, cause no credit is owned. A higher power working deeper where the seeds are sowed, and when the seeds are true then they're seeds of gold. But the real gold is joy when life starts to flow, and when it does you just smile cause now you know. I spent a long time running, I never knew then what I know now. That the fruits, they always come in, but you can't go around just knocking them down. It takes a long time to show in. We plant the seeds then and we look at them now. But the roots are always growing, no matter if I'm there or never around.
Whatever grows will grow, whatever dies will die, whatever works will work, whatever flies will fly, whatever fails will fail, what's meant to soar will soar. I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will grow.
When it grows, it grows.
Whatever dies will
And when it dies, it dies. Come on.
Works will
If it works, it works.
whatever flies will
Let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will
When
fail.
it fails, it
What's meant
fails.
to soar will soar.
when it soars, it soars.
I am planting seeds. Whatever grows will
Let it grow, let it grow.
whatever dies will
When it dies, it dies.
whatever works will
When it works, it works.
flies
Yeah,
will
let it fly, let it
whatever
fly.
fails will fail.
Fails, it
What's
fails.
meant to soar will soar.
Let it
I am planting seeds
and nothing more. Dies, it dies. When it works, it works. Yeah, let it fly, let it fly.
fails will fail.
Fails, it fails.
To soar will soar.
Let it soar.
I am planting seeds
And nothing more.
Good morning. I am Becky Skinner from MUUS. This is a story by Rabbi Sylvia Rothschild called The Question We Will Be Asked in Heaven. Why were you not you? Martin Buber tells of the great Hasidic Rabbi Zusha of Hanapol. On his deathbed, Rabbi Zusha began to cry uncontrollably, and his students and disciples tried hard to comfort him. They asked him, "Rabbi, why do you weep? You are almost as wise as Moses. You are almost as hospitable as Abraham, and surely heaven will judge you favorably." Zusha answered them, "It is true. When I get to heaven, I won't worry so much if God asks me, 'Zusha, why were you not more like Abraham?' Or 'Zusha, why were you not more like Moses?' I know I will be able to answer those questions, After all, I was not given the righteousness of Abraham or the faith of Moses, but I tried to be both hospitable and thoughtful. But what will I say when God asks me, Zusha, why were you not more like Zusha? Some of you might remember seeing a Peanuts cartoon which had Linus complain, "There is no heavier burden than a great potential." Like all those cartoons, there was great wisdom in those funny sideways comments. But the reality is each of us has great potential, and during this time of the year we need to think about the answer we might give to the question Rabbi Zusha feared so much. Every human being has unique capacity to add to the world. Each of us can bring love and goodness, creativity, thoughtfulness, human warmth. We don't all need to be great scholars or rise to the top of our profession. We each have potential to be fully present in the world, fully open to the possibilities of relationship with the other. We make our choices every day, waking, as the morning prayer reminds us, with a pure soul that was given to us by God. So, in this month of becoming, it is a good time for us to preempt the question of Zusha. As we continue to live out our days, how shall we be more fully our best selves?
There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more love somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. There is more hope somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more hope somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. There is more peace somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more peace somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. There is more joy somewhere. I'm gonna keep on till I find it. There is more joy somewhere.
A long, long time ago, a Lakota tribe living in the Great Plains was having such a challenging time. There was not enough food in the camp, and people were so hungry. So 2 young men were sent out to go hunting, and they went on foot, because this was before the Creator gave them the gift of horses. So they hunted, they walked, they hunted, to no avail. They couldn't find anything to eat. So they climbed a hill and looked west. And lo and behold, there was this shape coming toward them. And they wondered, they asked themselves, what do you think this is? I don't know, maybe it's an animal. But as the shape got closer, it turned out to be a woman. And this woman was dressed in this beautiful white buffalo calf skin dress. And as she approached,
The first young man thought to himself, she must be a holy person, and his mind was filled with good thoughts. The second young man, however, looked at her beauty and was filled with bad thoughts. As she came near to them, he tried to reach out and grab her. As soon as he did that, a bolt of lightning shot down, and a cloud came down and enveloped him. And when the cloud lifted, there was nothing but a skeleton. And so she said to the first young man, "I am from the buffalo people. I come bringing you a gift. I bring your people a gift from the buffalo people. So go to your people and tell them to build a medicine lodge for me and have it ready. I will return in 4 days." And she walked off. And so the young man hurried back to his tribe and told them all that he had seen. And they followed her instructions. They built her a medicine lodge, and within it they built an earth altar that faced west. 4 days later, they see her approaching, carrying a bundle. And so they welcomed her, and they brought her into the medicine lodge and gave her the seat of honor. And so she unwrapped the bundle to reveal a sacred pipe. And she told them, "This sacred pipe represents many, many things. I will teach you. The bowl is made of red stone. That represents the blood and flesh of not only our people, but of all peoples. The stem is made of wood and represents all of the green living things on this earth. And the smoke that goes through the pipe represents the sacred wind that brings the prayers to the Creator." And so she taught them the rituals to do to honor this sacred pipe, to honor that this pipe is connected to all things, that all things are connected. And so she taught them how to follow the ways of the sacred pipe. And she said, "When you follow the ways of this sacred pipe, you are following the good red road. And when you follow the good red road, you will live happily and prosperously." So that was the gift she gave them. And as she walked off into the sunset, they saw her fall to the ground and roll over. And when she got up, she was a black buffalo. And so the black buffalo walked along, fell to the ground, rolled over, and became a brown buffalo. And this brown buffalo went along, rolled on the ground, and became a red buffalo. And finally, the red buffalo rolled on the ground and became a white buffalo calf. And from that moment on, the camp was surrounded by herds of buffalo. And the people hunted the buffalo and gave thanks and followed the path of the sacred pipe and lived happily ever after because they honored the good red road, the interconnectedness of all things.
Today, we are not following the good red road. Yet many people refuse to acknowledge the facts about global warming and environmental justice. But first, a little history about Earth Day. The first Earth Day was in 1970. There were many factors in the previous decades that led up to the birth of the modern environmental movement. Cars consumed massive amounts of leaded gas. Factories had smokestacks spewing pollution with no thought of the consequences. The publication of the New York Times bestseller, Silent Spring by Rachel Carson greatly increased awareness of the damage to the environment being wrought by industry and lifestyles. Her book and the establishment of Earth Day put environmental concerns on the front page. The nonpartisan support put forth was incredible, a total alignment of disparate groups such as those fighting against oil spills, toxic dumps, the disappearing wilderness, on and on. All were united under a common theme: to save Mother Earth. The creation of Earth Day led to the forming of the Environmental Protection Agency and the passage of several laws, such as the Clean Water Act. The fact is, we have entered the era of the Anthropocene, the age of human effects on the climate and environment. There is not one person on this planet, no matter how remote the location, that hasn't been affected by climate change. If you were born between the early 1990s and the early 2000s, your generation is the first to have spent your entire life in a world affected by climate change. In 1980, Isaac Asimov wrote, and I quote, "There is a cult of ignorance in the United States, and there always has been. The strain of anti-intellectualism has been a constant thread winding its way through our political and cultural life, nurtured by the false notion that democracy means that my ignorance is just as good as your knowledge." End quote. Consider all the hoaxes that arose about the pandemic. I have a friend of a friend who said that her political views did not allow her to get vaccinated. Isn't the pandemic a biological issue? I thought it was. There is a war against science that has been going on for decades. Books have been published on it, with one earning the Pulitzer Prize back in the 60s. The lack of trust in science and information is at an all-time high. The fact is that climate facts have been communicated by thousands of scientists for over 200 years. But when presented with facts about climate change, people who refuse to acknowledge it don't change their minds. Why? I always thought if someone disagreed with me on something, if I just tell them the facts, the reality of the situation, they would come around to my way of thinking. Ha! Not a chance. Divisiveness has never been greater than it is right now. Democrats and Republicans are the most polarized on the issue of climate change. The number one predictor of a person's opinion about climate change is their political party. How could anyone totally disregard the facts? And it's not just happening in the United States, it's happening all over the world. It's not because these people lack intelligence or that they lack skills or education. Intelligence actually enables the person to pick and choose what they need in order to validate what they already believe. What they are doing is following the opinion of the leader of their group. Leaders whose opinions affect the group's opinions are called elite cues, Q-U-E-S. Elite cues affect public opinion greatly, as in the following examples. Ted Cruz, a Republican senator from Texas, said, and I quote, "Climate change is not science, it's religion," end quote. Marco Rubio, a Republican senator from Florida, said, "I don't want to destroy the economy over fixing climate change," end quote. This quote was under a headline that said, "1 million Florida homes are at risk due to climate change." Also, many conservative Christians are against doing something about climate change because they're afraid the government will take away their freedom. So there are three factors that contribute to the denial of reality of global warming and environmental injustice. First, there is identity politics. Both parties could be reading the same thermometer in their backyards and see different numbers. Secondly, there is psychological distancing. It'll happen sometime in the future. It's not happening right now. Thirdly, there is solution aversion, fear that change will result in loss of freedom or prosperity. People fail to follow recommendations because they don't believe what they're being told, or they feel they're being manipulated. There was a nationwide survey that was recently conducted. The first question was, do you think global warming is real? Most people said yes. Will it harm future generations? Most people said yes. Will it harm people far away? Most people said yes. Will it harm people in the United States? About half said yes. When asked, do you think it will affect you? Most people said no. It matters to the polar bears, apparently, but it doesn't matter to me. And the last question was, do you ever talk about it? The majority of people said no, they don't talk about it at all. So what does affect public opinion? Elite Qs, those in leadership positions holding the same opinion as their group. That's the first thing that affects public opinion. The second thing is advocacy efforts. Thirdly, what the weather is doing. And then lastly, the structural economic factors. These all influence public concern about climate change. Sharing information with the public, however, has no effect. Information-based science advocacy has a minor effect. What does work is political mobilization by elite Qs and advocacy groups. These are critical in influencing climate change concern. The fact is, most of us are alarmed and concerned about climate change. What can you and I do today? How can we help each other become stewards of the earth? We can start by talking about it. I can think of several people with whom I would like to have a conversation, and I'm sure you can too. There are 3 steps when starting a conversation with someone who might not agree with you. First, you start the conversation by finding common ground. What do you both have in common, or what do you both care about? Second, connect the dots between what you care about and how the changing climate will affect it. Third, brainstorm positive, doable, inspiring solutions that will motivate you to take action. Discussing global warming does make a difference. It leads to the learning of influential facts, increases belief that climate change is happening, and generates more concern about it. When children are taught about climate change, they can foster concern in their parents. There is a list published on the 10 most effective messengers about global warming and the environment. Famous people were number 10. Politicians were number 9. Scientists, number 2. And guess who's number 1? You. You and me are the best messengers to spread the word about the need to take care of Mother Earth. It is my prayer on this 51st Earth Day that a second nonpartisan environmental movement in which we will all work together to save the earth for our children, our children's children, and all future generations. I wrote a poem a few days ago with the help of my boyfriend, which I'd like to share with you now. Trees as Models of Life, a Pantun poem by Lynne Grobsky and Tarn Granusi. The magic of trees cannot be overstated. Warriors of Mother Earth, cleansing the air. Tree communities supporting each other. A divine image assisting with life's challenges. Warriors of Mother Earth, cleansing the air. Root systems grounding, bringing sustenance. A divine image assisting with life's challenges. Trunk providing courage, strength, resilience. Root systems grounding, bringing sustenance. Branches reaching out and sharing gifts. Trunk providing courage, strength, resilience. The sturdiness of wood, weathering untold storms. Branches reaching out, sharing gifts. Leaves are the fruition of thoughts, words, actions. The sturdiness of wood, weathering untold storms. Marginalized people are like the fragility of a white birch. Leaves are the fruition of thoughts, words, actions. Some leaves heart-achingly beautiful. Marginalized people are like the fragility of a white birch. Because of trees, Mother Earth will prevail. It is my prayer on this 51st Earth Day that we follow White Buffalo Calf Woman's teachings, that we become good stewards of Mother Earth. For this meditation, if you can, find a comfortable position in a quiet space. Settle in and get comfortable. I'm going to ask you to use your imagination. So I'd like you to close your eyes and take some deep balloon breaths. Breathing in, calling back all your energies from where you've left them. Breathing out, releasing what no longer serves you in this moment. Focusing on your breath so that you can remain fully present. Take a few more deep breaths. So imagine 10 years from now, you and your family are living in a world in which the climate has changed. And you are not only surviving, but you are thriving. What does the climate look like? Take a few moments. What do you think the climate looks like if you are flourishing? What does your life look like? Imagine the next generation thanking you for your efforts in saving Mother Earth. What are they thanking you for? What did you do to flourish and to make the world a better place? And when you are ready, you may open your eyes. So we all have our part to do. We all can do something.
As joyful as the spring sun and promise of new life is this Earth Day, as hopeful as we are about the ability to act and use our agency and energy to renew and restore the health of our planet, We are also weary with the war on black bodies and black lives that shadow so much of our national history and our present national moment. Flowers burst forth in color all around us, while still police act as judge, jury, and executioner, victims of the same white supremacy culture that causes them to perpetuate it. Therefore, let us take a minute to settle ourselves in the space where we watch this service of truth and meaning. Let us take a minute to ground ourselves to the present moment and to the earth we celebrate this morning. Breathe. Listen to the running water, the lifeblood of the Mother Earth. For in the earth itself is the power and the promise to heal the planet's wounds and heal its people's wounds, so that black lives finally matter, so we can justly claim all lives matter, so that all life itself will matter to all of us.
Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out.
We give thanks for all those who are moved in their lives to heal and protect the earth in small ways and in large ways. Blessings on the composter and the gardeners, the breeders of worms, the soil builders, those who cleanse the water and purify the air, all those who clean up the messes others have made. Blessings on those who defend trees and plant trees, who guard the forests and renew them. Blessings on those who prevent erosion, who restore the salmon and the fisheries, who guard the healing herbs and know the lore of wild plants. Blessings on those who heal the cities and bring them alive again with excitement, creativity, and love. Gratitude and blessings to all who stand against greed, who risk themselves, to all of those who have bled and been wounded and those who have given their lives in the service of and in the defense of the earth. May all the healers of the earth find their own healing. May they be fueled by passionate love for our planet. May they know their fear but not be stopped by it. May they feel their anger and yet not be ruled by rage. May they honor their grief but not be paralyzed by sorrow. May they transform fear, rage, and grief into compassion and the inspiration to act in service of what they love. May they find the help, the resources, the courage, the luck, the strength, the love, the health, and the joy they need to do this work. May they be in the right place at the right time in the right way. May they bring alive a great awakening, open a listening ear to the earth's voice, transform imbalance to balance, hate and greed to love. Blessed be the healers of the earth. This Sunday, We light a candle for the earth and all its life, for all of those whose lives have been lost to or altered by COVID-19. In this month of April, Autism Awareness Month, everyone on the autism spectrum and all of us who need to learn more about autism, all of those struggling with disease and illness, both visible and invisible, George Floyd, Dante Wright, and all those murdered for being black, let us not forget their names. Amen.
Step by step, the longest march can be won, can be won. Many stones can form an arch, singly none, singly none. And by union, what we will can be accomplished still. Drops of water turn a mill, singly none, singly none. Step by step, the longest march can be won, can be won. Many stones can form an arch, singly none, singly none. And by union, what we will can be accomplished still. Drops of water turn a mill, singly none, singly none.
Dear ones, our service is at an end. We extinguish our chalice with hope in our hearts that this Earth Day will carry us to a new relationship with the earth, becoming guardians of her resources and all she gives to us. May we become more active in preserving her for future generations. May it be so. Blessings to you all. See you next week.
Lonely, lonely, I feel no motion, standing on these mountains and plains, far away from the rolling ocean. Still my dry land heart can say, I've been sailing all my life now, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue boat home. Sun, my sail, and moon, my rudder, as I ply the starry sea, leaning over the edge in wonder, casting questions into the deep, drifting here with my ship's companions, all we kindred pilgrim souls, making our way by the lights of the heavens in our beautiful blue boat home. I surging beyond. Greet the infinite sea before me. Sing the sky my sailor's song. I was born upon the fathoms, never harbor or port have I known. The wide universe is the ocean I travel, and the earth is my blue.
Our service may be drawing to a close, but there's always coffee hour. Please pour a cup of your favorite beverage and zoom on in. Join us for coffee at go.uucentralct.org/coffee. That's go.uucentralct.org/coffee. We'll see you in a few minutes.